Yeah.
Review show, yay!
Hey.
Hey, what movie did we see today?
I forgot the name of it.
Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. What did you think?
I thought it didn't work. You want to know why I don't think it worked?
Yeah, on what level did you think it didn't work at?
Well, the central problem is that the film is about a person that is actually an absence of a person. So you have this person who isn't a person as the feature of the film. And that's a huge problem. Not a problem, but a challenge just right off the bat. Unless you're very adept at the material and aware that you're dealing with a non-person person, you're going to get in trouble real quick.
Yeah, but wasn't he just a really shallow person?
He was practically a MacGuffin in the movie. Just things moved around him and things happened to him, but he, besides like a basic sex drive and ideas for bad TV shows, he was just a non-entity.
Yeah, but I liked the dating game. I thought that was fun to watch when I was a kid, to see people ask goofball questions. Yeah.
Initially, we have a paint-by-the-numbers type of film, although it was very well shot. But we have one movie that's about a man struggling in New York to come up with bad TV shows, and then we have another movie about a CIA hitman, and neither one is a particularly interesting movie, but they're slammed together.
Yeah, I just felt myself, my mind was wandering a lot, because I didn't care about the character. He's so weird, and none of the people in that movie, and it's like, oh, yeah.
The problem is he was supposed to carry the movie at the beginning part, and he doesn't, for the reasons I stated before, and what's meant to carry the movie, I suppose, is the
strange premise, yeah.
Well, it's not even that. It's just there's a lot of supposed vulgarity for its time about how people act compared to how they present themselves on TV, which isn't exactly news to anybody, and it's certainly not enough to carry a movie for a whole hour.
Especially these days. It's pretty tame stuff compared to these days.
Yeah, that's another strange thing, is the movie was made in 2002, and it already feels dated in the sense of, again, how it's paced. It's very paint by the numbers, and so you have the datedness of the 50s through 70s era, and then you on top of how the film itself is dated, so it's particularly clunky because of that.
Yeah, and I just felt like the set design and the costumes just look like old things they've found in mothballs somewhere. There wasn't anything beautiful about, there's this sort of stylishness from that period, but you don't get that.
I don't think that really matters, because the whole film is about someone who's very chintzy and how he relates to television, so it fits with that theme.
Yeah, but I was talking about the very early shots, of New York on the street and people, how they were dressed. And you could tell it was uninspired. Yeah.
So some of the shots I thought were cool, which were some of the highlights of the movie for me, were
like what?
There's one shot where he's talking to one of the TV executive producers, and he walks over to his chimney, and in the foreground, in the background, you can see the producer out of focus in his studio, which is kind of a technique you would use in a play, but they use it in the movie. There was an over-the-head shot with the 2 toilet stalls that I thought was done well. Some of the shooting later on, I'll talk about in the spoiler zone. There was some other inventive shooting as well, but I thought that was one of the highlights of a movie that otherwise didn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't matter really, because there's no characters.
Exactly. Unfortunately, I thought Drew Barrymore was really engaging in this movie, and her character is way cooler than the main character, which is another problem. He's so glaringly uninteresting compared to her vivaciousness. And the contrast is painfully apparent, which is no admonishment of Sam Rockwell as an actor. It's just, again, it was the material.
Yeah, and Drew Barrymore, she's always that kind of sweet, engaging girl. I mean, she's always got that quality. She was in The Wedding Singer. And
yeah, but I thought her dialogue was a little sharper than it might otherwise be, because it was written by Charlie Kaufman, and that made the character pop a little bit more.
This is really a weirdly kind of normal movie for Kaufman, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've never seen him do anything that's down to earth.
I actually thought the movie got slightly better, not enough to redeem itself, because again, you can't lose an audience for the first hour and then expect them to get back on board after that. It slowly got better when he started to go crazy, and the filming techniques got more interesting. Since the character was kind of an absence, he was a vacuum, and the film finally collapsed into this vacuum that was Chuck Barris, and that was interesting to me because
it's like the event horizon. Like there was a dark hole, and then you went through the event horizon.
Exactly.
And you went into another reality, and it was still not great, but it was something different. Is that it?
That was cool. How he was walking behind the scenes, and then there was a stage decoration that was akin to one of the European streets he was at earlier in the movie. That was an actual street, and the shot of his mother presenting the cake, and then there was that big image of her, and just all of that. That was really well done, and that in itself was interesting. But again, it wasn't enough to save them.
It's just like this little tiny piece of the film. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. To me, it was very cinematic too, like this old movie 40s style thing going on.
Yeah, there was kind of a noir aspect to it.
Yeah.
But the rest of the movie was so paint by numbers that it just wasn't redeemed by that inventiveness that came later on in the film. And the scene where George Clooney is revealing that information about Chuck Barris, that was interesting. Too bad they couldn't work that in to make the film more engaging, because at least that explains why he's such an absence. And
I think it might have worked better as a documentary, maybe, you know?
Maybe.
Yeah, just like, because I found the real people like Dick Clark and J.P. Morgan, I think her name was J.P. Morgan, the blonde.
Her name was not J.P. Morgan.
No, it was
Faye Morgan or something like that.
But some of the real people who were talking about the guy, and even him coming on at the end, to me that was interesting. But making a movie about it, that was a fictional thing. Doesn't work for me. I don't know. It didn't work for you either.
Yeah, I just don't think it worked. Period.
Okay, here's my theory about why he came up, because I don't think he would. I mean, it's ridiculous that crazy people say they work for the CIA, and I think he just felt so guilty about inventing the Gong Show and getting so much grief about ruining American culture that he had to make up this like false identity to give himself some kind of a moral gravitas. I mean, that's the only thing I can imagine that would make him put that in a book, that he was the CIA agent, you know?
Yeah.
Because the real ones don't put it in books, do they? I mean, they can't.
I don't know. Anyway, it's not interesting to me because, again, it's secondary to how the film works or not. But, I mean, as far as him destroying American culture or anything, which is totally aside from the main topic, I think, especially in 2015, it just looks like he was a symptom of things to come more than anything else.
Yeah, he was sort of like a harbinger of the deluge of horror that was coming. But I don't blame him for it. He wasn't. He was just the messenger in a way. Yeah. It's almost like that scene where he said, "Don't shoot the messenger."
I mean, he was vacuous, and he kind of he presented the vacuousness of
society at that time.
Well, yeah, of TV culture, and of course the film's making parallels between that vacuousness and A Killer, which is, again, interesting subject material. It just didn't execute as a film. There's nothing intrinsically unexecutable about it, but it just didn't work this time, the way it was done.
Yeah, they didn't really pull it together that way. They didn't really drive home the point, you know?
Yeah. They didn't surmount the challenges inherent in the material.
Sad but true. I guess this sums it up then. We cannot say... We agree on this time. Neither of us likes this movie.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to see a film interesting in the way it doesn't work, check it out. If you actually want to see a film because you want to enjoy the experience of watching film, don't see it. Is
there any movie you can think about that is like this but it works? I mean, can you ever do a movie like this? I mean...
Oh, there's got to be. Nothing comes to mind.
No.
For as far as those you should see, I mean, George Clooney also directed Good Night and Good Luck. That's a good movie. Go see that. But it's nothing like this movie.
But it's set in the same period, though, like 50s or something, right? He
does
early,
period. It's the McCarthy era, so...
Yeah. That's about the game show Fraud or something, right? At the time?
No.
Oh, was that something else? Was it about Edward R. Murrow?
Yeah, it was about Murrow exposing McCarthy and kind of pulling him down.
Maybe I haven't seen that, because I'm thinking of the game. He did one about the game show Fraud thing, too, I think. But anyway.
You're probably thinking of Quiz Show. That wasn't Clooney. That was somebody else.
Yeah, I guess I am thinking of Quiz Show. But so, he did the Marvel thing. Well, check that out. Thanks for the tip.
No problem.